The big issue I have is with Travis Hunter. She's crying herself to sleep. What in God's name would make you think that that's a good thing to tell the world? Why would you do that?
Stephen A. Smith had finally reached his limit after videos of Travis Hunter's wife breaking down in tears began circulating online. With weeks of gold digger accusations flooding social media, the outspoken ESPN host decided to address Hunter directly during an Instagram live session. What he said next became a major wake-up call, one that could reshape how Travis manages his marriage, his public image, and the perception people hold of him moving forward. In the cutthroat world of sports media, where controversy fuels engagement and drama drives profit, Stephen A. Smith has built his career on fearless opinions and blunt commentary. So when he decided to weigh in on the Travis Hunter and Lyanna Lenny situation, few expected the stance he would take. Most assumed he'd either avoid the personal matter entirely or offer the usual advice about keeping private issues off social media. Instead, Smith chose a different route. He delivered a direct and thoughtful defense of Lyanna, highlighting how responsible media figures can use their platforms to protect rather than exploit those under public attack. To understand the significance of Smith's remarks, it's important to grasp the level of online harassment Travis Hunter's fiancée had been facing. This wasn't routine gossip or mild internet chatter, it had evolved into a deliberate smear campaign that spiraled into something far more destructive. The situation peaked when old videos and alleged direct messages from 2020 and 2021 resurfaced, ironically, on their wedding day, May 24, 2025. The timing felt deliberate and cruel, engineered to cause maximum embarrassment. The resurfaced material included clips of Lyanna dancing with another man and screenshots of supposed flirtatious DMs. While their authenticity remained questionable and the timeline unclear, the intent behind releasing them was unmistakably malicious. Yet, as is often the case in the court of public opinion, people ignored facts and context in favor of sensational headlines. This is precisely where Stephen A. Smith's experience and understanding of media manipulation came into play. Instead of echoing the noise, he approached the controversy through a journalistic lens. Smith pointed out the uncertain timeline of Hunter and Lyanna's relationship, suggesting that the alleged content may have predated their commitment to each other. In doing so, Smith wasn't just defending Lyanna, he was urging his audience to think critically about the content they consume. He used his influence to highlight the importance of context and credibility in an era dominated by viral misinformation. When Smith addressed the issue on his platform, his words carried weight. Backed by years of credibility and experience, his commentary resonated across the sports community and beyond, serving as both a defense and a powerful reminder of the responsibility that comes with having a voice in today's digital landscape.
Now I want to get into a story I've seen percolating in the headlines and social media. And that's about Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter and his fiancée, Lyanna Lenny. For some reason, these two young people feel the need to hit the social media airwaves to defend their relationship in front of the world.
Stephen A. Smith's commentary took an unexpected direction when he chose to defend the young couple instead of criticizing them. His most impactful moment came when he addressed the harsh judgment aimed at Lyanna. Smith said, "I don't want to hear about what she might have done years ago. She's a young lady. Come on, y'all. She's not some seasoned, grown woman who's been out here manipulating people. She's a young lady, mistakes happen." What made Smith's defense so powerful wasn't just his words but the sincerity behind them. This wasn't a carefully crafted PR statement, it was a heartfelt argument grounded in empathy and fairness. Smith pointed out that Lyanna, only 23 at the time, was still learning and growing. He emphasized that her past mistakes shouldn't define her or be used to question her character. But Smith's message wasn't just about protecting Lyanna from criticism. He extended his words of wisdom directly to the couple, offering a balance of compassion and tough love. He reminded them that fame brings pressure, and navigating it requires maturity, patience, and privacy.
What are you doing? Lyanna, what are you doing? Before I go any further on this subject, let me fully explain. She also went on to explain her actions following Colorado's last home game, where fans wondered why she didn't seem to give him a hug. And then she explained to fans why she didn't respond to Travis when he first tried to holler via a DM.
Smith's frustration was evident as he continued to address what he saw as a strategic mistake by the young couple.
First of all, Liana, you are his lady, you are his fiance, you are about to be his wife. Why are you explaining to the world how much you care about him? Does he know? That's all that matters. You are on camera, your voice cracking.
The media veteran then delivered what would become one of his most memorable pieces of advice about dealing with public scrutiny.
That's the cruel world we're living in. You gotta be stronger than that. You gotta have alligator skin. You're a young lady, a beautiful young lady who one would surmise completely loves her man and is looking forward to spending the rest of your life with him. Congratulations. But it's about him, not about what other people think about you with him.
When Smith shifted his focus to Travis Hunter, his tone became firmer. His critique, though pointed, was necessary. He urged Travis to understand that as a public figure, his actions would always attract attention, both fair and unfair. Smith encouraged him to prioritize his marriage over public perception, to protect his relationship from external noise, and to remember that privacy is sometimes the greatest defense.
The big issue I have is with Travis Hunter. She's crying herself to sleep. What in God's name would make you think that that's a good thing to tell the world? Why would you do that? You think they're gonna feel sorry for her? You think they're gonna have compassion? You don't see these trolls out here, bruh?
His message became even more pointed as he addressed Hunter's future in professional sports.
Don't give into that. You're about to go into the National Football League. That's what you're about to do. You're about to get paid. In my eyes, this should be your most selfish time. You need to think about the people that you're involving in your life. How close-knit they are. Do they keep things internal? They're gonna go on social media and express themselves.
Later, Smith praised the couple's decision to deactivate their Instagram accounts, calling it a smart and strategic move. Stepping back from social media, he said, was the best way to prevent outsiders from dissecting and distorting their relationship further. This wasn't just practical advice, it reflected a deeper truth. Sometimes, the only way to win a rigged game is to stop playing altogether. Smith ended his commentary with his most valuable insight yet. Drawing from years of observing young athletes handle fame, he reminded both Travis and Liana that learning when to step back, stay grounded, and protect what truly matters can make all the difference, not just in sports, but in life.
Don't do it. Take it from your boy Stephen A, because you know I'm rooting for you. First of all, I think she's beautiful. I think y'all a beautiful couple. I wish you nothing but the best. Secondly, you got Prime. Talk to your coach. That brother knows. They came after him too, and look at how he's shining.
The veteran commentator closed his remarks with a nod to comedian Cat Williams, sharing one final piece of advice about managing public criticism.
Let me tell you something, bro. Listen to Cat Williams. You got 50 haters, man, you should be happy you don't have 100. 200, 500. Alligator skin, bro. Develop more of it. Let it roll right off your chest.
The timing of Stephen A. Smith's comments was especially important. This wasn't just another celebrity couple facing gossip. This was a young black athlete at the height of his career being told by strangers that his choice of partner was wrong. The racial and cultural factors involved added layers of complexity that Smith, with his deep understanding of African American representation in sports, was uniquely qualified to address. Smith also echoed the sentiments of Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders, who had criticized public figures like Dez Bryant, Bow Wow, and Godfrey for openly commenting on Hunter's relationship instead of reaching out privately. Smith's support for Sanders wasn't just about defending Liana, it was about establishing a standard for how influential people should approach private matters involving young individuals. The courage behind Smith's defense shouldn't be overlooked. Standing up for someone being heavily criticized is rarely easy, especially in an industry where controversy drives ratings. Choosing empathy over outrage isn't the safest move for a media personality whose success depends on viral moments. Smith could have stayed neutral or issued a generic statement that risked nothing. Instead, he used his platform to champion fairness, compassion, and responsibility. Smith's defense was also tactically smart. Rather than simply telling critics they were wrong, he explained why their approach was harmful. He pointed out that public commentary only magnifies unwanted attention, fueling more speculation and hostility. In doing so, he taught his audience how online pylons form and why they're so damaging. What made Smith's stance even more meaningful was his recognition of the generational gap shaping these conversations. He understood that young people's past mistakes, especially those made years before, shouldn't be weaponized against them, particularly when context, like relationship timelines, remains unclear. This wasn't just media commentary, it was mentorship. Smith offered the kind of thoughtful guidance that many young public figures rarely receive. The reaction to his defense spoke volumes about today's media culture. Many applauded his integrity and empathy, appreciating his willingness to use influence for protection rather than exploitation. Others criticized him for inserting himself into a personal issue, failing to see that his involvement was necessary precisely because that private matter had already been made public. Smith's approach highlighted a moral crossroads that every public figure faces: exploit or uplift, destroy or defend, chase views or choose responsibility. By taking the higher road, Smith not only influenced how this specific controversy would be remembered but also set an example for how similar issues could be handled going forward. To understand the full weight of Stephen A. Smith's defense, it's necessary to return to where the controversy began, not with leaked videos or online rumors, but with a single moment of hesitation that would echo across the sports world for months. Travis Hunter, the 2024 Heisman Trophy winner and a first-round draft pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars with a $46.65 million contract, assumed his greatest challenges would come on the field. He was wrong. His toughest battles unfolded on social media, where every gesture, glance, and pause became ammunition for online critics searching for controversy. The spark that ignited the firestorm wasn't a game day mistake or an off-field scandal. It was what should have been a joyful celebration. On December 14, 2024, during the Heisman Trophy ceremony, Travis Hunter was announced as college football's most outstanding player. It should have been his crowning achievement, a moment of pride shared with his loved ones. But as his name echoed through the auditorium, something subtle but significant happened. His fiancée, Liana Lenny, didn't immediately rise to celebrate. She remained seated while Hunter's mother and coach Deion Sanders stood and cheered. That brief hesitation, captured on camera, became the spark for an online frenzy. The internet seized on the moment, dissecting it frame by frame, interpreting it as a lack of support or enthusiasm for Hunter's success. What should have been a celebration of hard work and excellence quickly turned into a debate over loyalty, love, and emotional expression. Within hours, social media was flooded with criticism, turning a milestone in Hunter's life into yet another example of how quickly public opinion can shift in the digital age.
When his name was called, I instantly was gonna, if you watch the video, you can see me like, but his mom didn't get up. So I was like, oh, maybe I don't get up, maybe I just sit here with her. So I sat there and then y'all said Coach Prime had to tell me to get up. No, he didn't. He said, go get him. Go get your man. And once Travis stood up, but he didn't have to do that because I was gonna do that anyway.
The explanation painted the picture of a young woman trying to balance the pressures of family hierarchy and public perception in real time. Liana wasn't being dismissive or unsupportive, she was being considerate. She was following the lead of Travis Hunter's mother, wanting the spotlight to remain on the family that had sacrificed so much to help him reach this milestone. But by then, the internet had already formed its opinion. The narrative was locked in place, and any facts that contradicted it were dismissed or distorted. Online trolls emerged with the same tired insults that have long targeted successful young black men and their partners: gold digger, she's not right for him, he can do better. These weren't just isolated remarks. They reflected a broader, coordinated effort to tear down a young woman whose only real offense was loving someone in the public eye. The incident quickly escalated into a wave of online backlash, as users amplified claims that Leanna's behavior at the ceremony was proof of deeper problems in their relationship. Yet, this was far from an isolated moment. For months, Leanna had been under intense scrutiny. Every public appearance was dissected, every movement examined, as if her relationship were on trial. Clips from various events were replayed and misinterpreted, adding fuel to the growing online criticism. One particular incident, during an Oklahoma State game where Hunter leaned in to kiss Leanna and she appeared to pull away, was seized upon as evidence that something was wrong between them. Each normal human reaction became another opportunity for speculation, as social media turned ordinary moments into viral controversy. The most painful part of this relentless online targeting wasn't just the volume of criticism, but the emotional damage it caused. On a Twitch live stream, Travis Hunter shared that the constant negativity deeply affected Leanna. He revealed that she often cried herself to sleep after drinking to cope with the stress and anxiety brought on by the backlash. What should have been a time of shared happiness and accomplishment for the young couple had turned into a public ordeal, one that exposed how quickly empathy can disappear when social media decides someone is guilty before ever hearing their side of the story.
I know what I got. I know my girl been with me for 5 years. Y'all are just not starting to talk about me and just not starting to be with me. I feel the same pain that she feels. We're inseparable, bro. You know, you hurt where you just cry yourself to sleep and you just be gone.
Travis Hunter's honest admission revealed the real emotional cost of online pylons. Behind the memes, jokes, and viral debates was a human being facing genuine pain. Leanna Lenny's joy in celebrating her partner's success had quickly turned into a nightmare of public shaming and online character attacks. The backlash wasn't limited to random social media users. High-profile figures also began inserting themselves into the situation, adding fuel to an already volatile fire. Former NFL star Des Bryant took to social media to tell Hunter he should end his relationship with Leanna, suggesting she wasn't the right woman for him. Though Bryant eventually deleted the post, the damage had already been done. The fact that public figures felt comfortable advising a young man to leave the woman he loved showed how far the controversy had spread. Dr. Umar Johnson also joined the conversation, framing the issue through racial and cultural lenses, which only added more complexity to an already sensitive situation.
Obviously, I have issues with it because I believe black men should be married to black women, and this looks like it's going to be another tragic tale of another multi-million-dollar black athlete who sooner or later is going to get divorced, and his non-black wife is going to run off with all of his career earnings.
What started as speculation about one woman's support for her partner evolved into a much larger public discussion, one that touched on race, money, and the expectations placed on successful black athletes. A matter that should have remained private between two young people in love became a national debate about loyalty, gender roles, and financial responsibility. Perhaps the most troubling element was how it exposed the unrealistic expectations placed on the partners of high-profile athletes, particularly young women. Leanna was expected to be endlessly enthusiastic, visibly supportive, and constantly grateful. Any deviation from that script was immediately interpreted as selfishness or dishonesty. The public pressure became so intense that in December 2024, both Travis and Leanna chose to deactivate their Instagram accounts, stepping away from social media to preserve their mental health and protect their relationship. While this was a reasonable and healthy decision, critics spun it as a sign of guilt rather than a reaction to harassment. In the middle of this toxic environment, Stephen A. Smith stepped in, using his voice and influence to shift the narrative. His choice to defend rather than condemn, to show empathy rather than exploit, marked a turning point not just in this specific controversy but in how responsible media figures could approach similar situations going forward. This moment became a clear test of integrity, a clash between those seeking to destroy and those determined to protect. It raised a larger question: would the sports media industry continue chasing sensationalism, or would it choose empathy and accountability when it mattered most? While Stephen A. Smith used his platform to stand up for Travis and Liana, not everyone in the public eye followed his example. What came next was a revealing look at how different personalities responded, some doubling down on criticism, others offering unsolicited advice, and a few showing genuine support. This wave of celebrity commentary exposed a stark contrast between responsible journalism and opportunistic attention-seeking. The most concerning part wasn't the behavior of anonymous trolls, it was how well-known figures with massive platforms inserted themselves into the couple's private lives without full context or consideration for the impact of their words. Among the loudest voices was Dr. Umar Johnson, whose remarks became some of the most controversial in the entire saga. His commentary went beyond the couple's relationship, diving into broader theories about black wealth, interracial relationships, and social responsibility, ideas that many critics viewed as divisive and unnecessarily inflammatory.
Yes, I have, and I saw that comedian Godfrey had responded to the news that Travis Hunter was engaged and that it had been purported that his fiance had stated that he originally was not her type, but that he had, and I'm paraphrasing here, he had since that time won her over. And with them being engaged, it appears that marriage will be coming at some point in the future. Obviously, I have issues with it because I believe black men should be married to black women, and this looks like it's going to be another tragic tale of another multi-million-dollar black athlete who sooner or later is going to get divorced, and his non-black wife is going to run off with all of his career earnings. But for him to be engaged already, and for him to be about to get married, and he doesn't even have a prenuptial agreement, are you out of your mind, Travis Hunter? No disrespect to the young brother, I'm a fan, but bruh, slow this down.
Dr. Umar's remarks reflected a growing issue where public figures feel justified in commenting on the personal lives of young, successful black men, often framing their opinions through racial or cultural narratives. His stance sharply contrasted with Stephen A. Smith's more balanced and empathetic perspective. Another voice that joined the discussion came from the hip-hop community, Ashino, who presented a nuanced, though still problematic, viewpoint. He highlighted a generational gap in how relationships in the public eye are perceived. Speaking on the matter, he said, "Did you see what's happening with the Heisman winner, Travis Hunter, and his girlfriend? You saw she responded too, right? But it doesn't seem real to me, it doesn't feel authentic." Ashino's comments pointed to a larger misunderstanding among many older commentators: the inability to believe that young love can exist authentically in an era dominated by social media and constant public attention.
See, you know, the thing that kind of bothers me about this whole thing is that these are young kids, man. This is young love. They're barely out of their teens.
Yeah, you know, for people
What are they, like 21, 22? Like, this is young love.
However, his tone shifted when he began predicting potential problems ahead. Though perhaps well-meaning.
Once he gets in the league,
It's over. Anything you do,
when he
bro.
gets to the NFL,
Bro.
and he starts going to these clubs after the games,
What was that?
and he starts seeing actual real dimes constantly throwing themselves at him,
Yeah, it's gonna be
it's
hard.
going to be a little different.
This type of speculation reflected the same underlying issue: the presumption that young relationships can't endure success, and that fame or temptation would eventually destroy genuine affection. The criticism extended beyond media figures. Prominent celebrities also began weighing in. Former NFL star Des Bryant posted on social media urging Hunter to end his relationship with Len, claiming she wasn't right for him. Although Bryant later deleted the post, the damage was already done. The conversation had escalated to a point where even retired athletes felt entitled to publicly advise a young man on his personal life. Rapper Bow Wow also added his opinion on the Club Shay Shay podcast, offering unsolicited advice about women who could sidetrack the goal, implying Len might distract Hunter from his football career. He later clarified that he wasn't criticizing Hunter directly, but trying to offer perspective based on his own experiences. A familiar sentiment echoed among older men who often believe their past mistakes should dictate the choices of younger generations. The wave of criticism that followed was predictable yet damaging. Each new voice that joined in gave others permission to pile on, creating a snowball effect that nearly buried the young couple beneath an avalanche of unsolicited opinions and advice. What made this celebrity commentary particularly troubling was how clearly it exposed the double standards faced by successful young black men and their partners. While Hunter's athletic success was widely celebrated, his romantic relationship was treated as public property, open for approval or rejection by strangers who knew nothing about their private lives. When compared side by side, the difference between these opportunistic critiques and Stephen A. Smith's principled defense was striking. While Smith called for empathy and understanding, others encouraged suspicion and separation. Smith focused on facts and context, whereas many relied on speculation and assumption. One of the most emotional moments came when Leanna posted a TikTok in July 2025. The clip, originally filmed in December 2024, showed her crying in a bathroom while a motivational sermon played in the background. Her caption reflected her personal growth and faith, revealing how deeply the online criticism had affected her, but also the strength she had gained through spirituality and time. She wrote, "I wish I could go back and hug December me. The growth you can experience in 6 months of giving your life to Jesus and stepping away from the shackles of the world and social media is incredible." Even this moment of honesty and healing was twisted by critics, who falsely claimed the video was recent and used it to spark divorce rumors, despite no proof of separation or infidelity. Yet for those who looked deeper, it revealed a young woman who had endured a public storm and found strength through faith and self-discovery. Support for Leanna soon began to surface, offering a refreshing counterbalance to the negativity. WNBA star Angel Reese commented, "So proud of you, BBB." The storm doesn't last forever, reminding everyone that not all public figures chose to participate in tearing someone down. Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders also defended Hunter on social media, criticizing figures like Des Bryant for making public judgments instead of offering private guidance. His statement carried weight, given his understanding of the pressures young athletes face in the spotlight. Despite the widespread speculation and criticism from celebrities and social media personalities, no credible evidence exists to support claims of infidelity, divorce, or serious relationship problems between Travis Hunter and Leanna Lynn as of August 12, 2025. That fact alone highlights the sharp divide between rumor and reality, and how easily false narratives spread when fueled by influential voices. Their ongoing commitment to each other, seen through their marriage and consistent public affection, serves as proof that love can withstand even the harshest scrutiny when it's genuine and protected by integrity. In a culture that often seeks to tear down rather than uplift, their story stands as a reminder that some people still choose what's right, no matter how unpopular that choice might be. The digital noise may continue, and critics may persist, but true love, backed by resilience and faith, can not only survive the storm but rise above it.